It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
Oh, yes, it does. And great to have you with us on this Thursday edition of the show, the penultimate show of the week. It's our last live show of the week. Friday and Monday, special programming. Oh, you're going to love what we got for you tomorrow. I mean, you'll love what we have for you every day. You'll take it and you'll like it. So that's what we give you. Great show tomorrow coming up. We'll tell you about it a little later on in the show. Tino Pattigno later on to talk NASCAR because the fact that we have special programming on tomorrow, he's going to preview the NASCAR playoffs. David Aardsma comes by in about 10 minutes to talk baseball because it's Thursday, and that's what we do on Thursdays on Sports Wrap. Come hell or high water, NFL or no NFL, football or not, we're talking baseball on Thursdays. That's how we do it. But we do start things in the NFL on this Thursday edition of the show. And Sam Yardell, there he is here. Sam, also some really cool stuff coming next week I want to tell you guys about. One in particular that Sam is very excited about that I'll tell you guys about a little later on in the show. So, Sam, it is official. Rashee Rice learns his fate from the NFL. He gets 6 games, and he's going to take it. 6-game suspension for him as a result of the car racing situation that took place. What it feels like it was like 2 years ago by now. So he's out for the first 6 games. And if you look at what the Chiefs did, they obviously knew this was a possibility. If you go look at what they've done as far as their receiving core and what they did with the roster prior to cutdowns on Tuesday, they made sure they had plenty of depth at the receiver position. They knew what was coming.
Yeah, so it is interesting with regard to the Rashee Rice thing because while he will miss the first 6 games of this season, that isn't necessarily the end of this entire saga. It's not just, all right, the NFL suspended you 6 games for violating the personal conduct policy, and now, that's your slap on the wrist, you're good. No, let's not forget, Rashee Rice has sentencing coming up in a few months and could be behind bars by the end of the NFL season in the state of Texas. So it's a mess for the Chiefs. Am I surprised that this happened to a Chiefs player of all organizations? No, not a chance. They have a propensity to employ generally the most convicted NFL players. Not a head scratcher there at all. Do I concern myself with it for the regular season? Like theoretically, yeah. If it were any team besides the Kansas City Chiefs who proved to you last season that it really just doesn't matter whether they're winning or losing a game, they're going to win. Go back and watch that Raiders game if you want literally any semblance of why that is the case. And if you have any other opinion after rewatching that game, I would seriously like you to come on the show and discuss it. For fantasy, it means more than anything, Jason, because now in fantasy, you were taking Rashee Rice as kind of a steal because there was a chance he was only going to miss a couple of games. You could get him in like the 6th, 7th, 8th round. Those days are gone. People are drafting him in the same spot and just trying to recoup the first 6 weeks.
One thing, I'm glad the NFL sent a message with this. I have a very spot in me, I guess you could say, that when it comes to driving and people being irresponsible, whether it's drunk driving, driving under the influence, stuff like this, I think they've got to hammer guys because vehicles can be used as weapons if not used properly. So I am glad the NFL has taken this stance. I think the Chiefs' offense this year is going to be a lot like it was last year in that it's just going to be sort of a mishmash. They're still going to rely heavily on that defense and just score enough points. I hope you don't have Patrick Mahomes as your fantasy quarterback because I don't think he's going to pile up points this year, but he will make plays when it matters. I think Travis Kelce will have a nice bounce-back season. I don't think he's going to be Travis Kelce of 3 or 4 years ago, but I think he'll have a nice bounce-back season. And, the Chiefs will be the Chiefs, and they'll find ways to win games. All right, move away from that for a second. We got to talk about Micah Parsons. And the reason I want to talk about Micah Parsons, while there hasn't necessarily been a new development in the story, there is this now prevailing or this debate that we hear amongst football insiders of who's going to blink first. Will it be Jerry? Will it be Micah? I got news for everybody out there. A lot of people think it's going to be Micah Parsons and that he's going to be on the field in week 1 or week 2, shortly thereafter. I don't think there is a blink in this. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think either side is blinking in this. I've heard, the Stephen A. Smiths of the world sit there and say, well, if they lose the first 2 games, God forbid they lose to the Giants and they're 0-2, they're going to go run into Micah Parsons. I got news for all of you. Do you think Jerry cares about losing? He's been losing for 30 years. Do you think Jerry Jones really cares about losing the first 2 games of the season so much that he's going to swallow that Texas pride of his? And he's going to say, you know what? I'm the owner of the most valuable franchise in all sports, and I'm going to succumb to the whims of Micah Parsons. You're out of your mind. It's not going to happen. If anybody is going to blink in this, it's going to be Micah Parsons. And I get the sense he's willing now to really fight this battle, especially with his agent having been pushed out. He's got that guy in his ear. I don't think there's a resolution to this. I really don't. And we keep hearing the stuff about trade talk and everybody's, rumors out there, the Packers and all this stuff. I don't know if he winds up getting traded or just winds up sitting, but I don't see a resolution to this, Sam. I'm at the point now where this guy's going to forfeit $24 million this year, $23 million, the last year of his rookie contract. That's what I see right now, Sam.
The whole year thing to me, that's a non-starter, because if you're Micah Parsons and you sit out the entire year, you're just still owned by the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. So do I think that it seems like he's not going to play week 1, whether there is a new contract or not.
Yeah.
Just feels like at this point, based on everything everyone's saying in the media and what Brian Schottenheimer said the other day, it really feels like he's probably going to sit out week 1. At best, you're looking at like a snap count kind of situation where he's playing, my guess would be a quarter of the snaps.
Yeah.
But, if there's not a contract, I don't think he's going to sit out the whole season. I do think there's a chance we don't see.
So you think he blinks?
Right. So I think that there's a chance that we don't see Micah Parsons until like around Halloween.
I think if it gets that deep, he's not playing. I think if it gets that acrimonious, I don't think he's playing, Sam.
The reason I say that line of demarcation is because that's where he can come back and still take on the full year of service time and free himself from the Cowboys.
It still requires him to swallow his pride. And I don't know if either side in this wants to swallow that. David Aardsma talks baseball, the former closer, next. Welcome back on this Thursday. Something we always love to do on Thursdays on SportsWrap is talk baseball. Today is no different. David Aardsma is here, former big league reliever and closer. Did you just wave?
I did. I could go double. That was always my favorite.
Wow.
Like whenever I'd see like teammates across the field, and I'd be like, "Hey," and they'd like wave just to embarrass them. But especially when they're like doing their stretching, just go completely out of my way, start yelling at them, and until they wave back. That's always fun.
Nice touch. David Aardsma is here hanging out with us to talk baseball today on the show. So, David, first off on the Zach Wheeler thing, because when we talked last week, we had thought it was a blood clot. Now we find out it's thoracic outlet. And you kind of wonder, is his career over? Sam brought this up when we talked about it earlier in the week. Given the timeline for recovery and the fact that he was talking about retiring at the end of this contract anyway, will we see him again, or is he going to be of the mindset, I don't want to go out like that?
That's the question. That is a tough one because you hit it perfectly. He was talking about the end of the contract, retiring anyways. He's 36 at this point. This is a tough surgery to come back from. Not a whole lot of guys have ever come back from this blood clot, and then it became even more and getting like 3 options and becoming the thoracic outlet. I do believe we see him come back. I see this being I don't want to end my career like this. I want to come back. I have too much left. Like, you kind of get that fire. It's going to be a hard road, though. It's going to be a hard recovery, a hard thing, because not a whole lot of guys come back from this. So it's not like Tommy John, where you kind of look like just left and right of you and just talk about the recovery, and you all done it. So this is kind of be an individual thing for him. But I think for Zach Wheeler, knowing how he was on top, and he was even getting better. Like, I don't know how he was doing that. He was getting better. I don't see this being the end of Zach Wheeler. I see it being a little fire and seeing what he has left.
David, maybe the most talked about baseball player between the three of us over the course of this season, second most talked about, has been Shohei Ohtani. On Wednesday night, he was absolutely nails. I think he struck out 9. The Dodgers as a team struck out 19, handed the Reds their first sweep of the season on August 27th, which is an impressive thing in and of itself.
Wow.
But what have you seen out of Ohtani from when he first came back and we were talking about him, maybe he should be a reliever, can he only do 1 inning at a time, to now where he was last night, striking out 9 and picking up the win against Cincinnati?
Well, I got to eat some crow here, right? I got to own this a little bit. I have not been a fan of their process. This is the first time that it's ever really been done successfully. And I have to give them credit. It's worked out very well for the Dodgers. Shohei looks healthy. He obviously had that one little setback. We had the hip, like, whatever it was, cramps. So I got to own it a little bit. But I'm still not a fan of this. Other teams don't take this and be like, all right, like, he is the unicorn. Apparently he can do anything. Don't go out there and go do this. But he has looked absolutely dominant. That's the bottom line. He's gone out. I think he gave up 3 runs, is the worst outing he's had. They have done a great job of keeping it like 1 inning, 2 innings, 2 innings, 2 innings, 3. So they've actually been very patient with it, where I'm very surprised. A lot of teams would have gone out and like, all right, start pushing him a little bit more. When the Dodgers still keeping him to 4 innings, and you're like, he's got a lot more in the tank, when a lot of the teams would probably let him go throw 5 or 6. So they've done a very, very impressive job of keeping him to pitches, keeping him to a plan. And this was written out long before, and they've stuck with it. So I got to give him credit. But he is absolutely dominant, throwing every pitch for strikes, throwing him for strikeouts. Looks cool, calm, collected on the mound. And that's a big thing. A lot of times when you have those guys coming back from rehabbing, they get on that mound and you just see the game speeding up. It's Shohei Ohtani. The game speeds down. Like, everybody goes to Shohei Ohtani's speed when he is pitching or hitting. And to be able to do it, again, still be able to do it on both sides, and that hasn't slowed down at all. That's, if not gotten even better, is incredible.
Yeah. And, I mean, where do you throw him as far as, if we're talking about the playoffs, by the time we get to the playoffs, do you think he can go, 6, 7 innings?
It's the Dodgers. They need 4. Would the Dodgers and Dave Roberts ever let a starting pitcher go 6 innings?
Yeah, that's true.
But the answer
he might
is
be
yes.
the guy. He might be the guy they let go that long, though, if he wants to.
He's still going to get 4 starts, 5 starts before the playoffs even happen. There's plenty of opportunities. But when you look at that rotation, I don't care what names you have. The way he's been pitching, I'm still starting him. I mean, again, Blake Snell isn't like he's known to go 6 innings every outing by any means. Glass now, if he can, obviously he can do it. Yamamoto has shown that ability, but Shohei's going to be able to give you 5 without a doubt, and a scary, really good 5 innings. And I want to see him on the mound in the playoffs. I want to see that. Like, we deserve this as a fan of baseball.
David, it's in the ilk of Shohei Ohtani. There's a new Shohei Ohtani in town, and his name's Nolan McLean. The two-way player for the New York Mets made, I think, his 3rd start of the season last night, and his ERA is .89. He went 8 strong shutty, punched out 6, only gave up 4 hits against a Phillies lineup that is still, even with their struggles of recent, one of the best in Major League Baseball. What have you seen out of the young two-way player just 3 starts into his Major League career?
Dude, how about that, right? And like his curveball is ridiculous.
Insane.
Insane. And this is what you want. This is what you need out of when playoff teams and good teams, when they need a starter and they call somebody up, they bring them up. This is what they tend to get, right? This is what it feels like the Brewers tend to get every single season. Like it's just been like keep going over and over. But the Mets haven't quite had this in a while, in a really long time. A young guy coming up that is not just good and getting by, but dominant. And that's what they need. That's how you have to have it, especially when you're going against a Phillies team. Like the Phillies, this is leading division. This is the best team. They have to beat the Phillies, the rivalry, everything like that. And he's going out there giving you 8 with 4 hits. I mean, that's
Is he going to be on an innings? Is he going to be on an innings restriction though? Like, will he be able to pitch for them for the rest of the season?
There's no reason why he shouldn't be able to at this point, right? There's no real thing stopping him from doing that on the big league side. So in the minor leagues, he did have 113, right? So that there is a good number there. But when you're throwing him out, you can't keep going out 8 and expect him to be full go. But he is young and energy, and so I have no doubt they should be fine.
All right, David Aardsma hanging out with us on the show. We got more baseball to talk about with him, and we will do that when we come back on this Thursday edition of Sports Wrap. Back with you on this Thursday edition of Sports Wrap and more baseball conversation with the one and only David Aardsma, who hangs out with us on the show. I don't normally like tease a week out, but we're going to be doing something very cool next Thursday with David. It will be David Aardsma, myself, Sam, and Jabba Chamberlain has committed to hanging out with us on the show. The original Jabba rules. I mean, that's it. The Jabba rules, man. That's all I remember. The Jabba rules.
Changed baseball.
Did. He's going to hang out with us on the show next Thursday. Stan Verrett, recent ESPN alum from SportsCenter, is going to be hanging out with us on the show next week as well, which Sam is very excited about. When I told Sam about that, he was more excited than any guest I've told him about. And I'm sitting there going, why? Like I like Stan, and he's really cool, and he's doing some cool things now that he's left ESPN and he's out on his own. But I was like, why Stan Verrett, Sam? And he's like, I watched him when I was growing up. I want
Stan Verrett.
We have the one we connect with, right?
Stan Verrett is an all-time legend of the game, and I'll tell him this on the show. I can't wait to. I will have memories for the rest of my life of watching him and Neil Everett before I went to bed doing SportsCenter from LA, man. That was like my favorite show growing up.
Well, him and Neil Everett are reuniting, and they're going to be doing a show, I think, a couple of days a week over on Twitch, if I'm not mistaken. We'll talk about that next week with Stan Verrett, who's also going to be the game day host over in New Orleans for the Saints this upcoming season. So very cool stuff. Looking forward to chatting with him next week on the show. In the meantime, we have the one and only David Aardsma hanging out with us. Is Giancarlo Stanton a Hall of Famer if he gets to 500 home runs? I have long argued he is, and he is certainly steamrolling to that number when you look at what he's done since coming off the IL. I mean, he has single-handedly carried this Yankees offense, David.
And especially the last couple years, minus the whole forearm, little
Elbows,
issue here where he was on the IL at the beginning of the season. The last couple years, without a doubt, has solidified it for me. When he's been up against it, when he's been having injuries, when it's not been his best ever, he's gone out whenever he's had the bat in his hand, and it has been impressive.
And he's playing the outfield, and he's playing in the field. He's playing in the field. I'm not saying he's playing it great. I'm not saying, if he hit it out there, he's going to...
Stats nerd right now is freaking out.
Yeah, he's not going to chase it down, but, I mean, he's giving them something they need with Judge not being able to play out there and having both of them in the lineup.
The numbers speak for themselves when you put them up. Historically, I know someone out there is also going to be yelling about the numbers and that they don't matter as much here and there. The guy's been a stud across the board. One of the best players in the league before he started having knee injuries. One of the most athletic players in baseball. He was the biggest baddest man until Aaron Judge decided to walk on the field. And when he gets to 500, which he at this pace,
Look at
I
Sam.
have no doubt he
Sam
will.
Sam hates this conversation. Sam would rather be getting a root canal right now than having this conversation. He hates it.
I mean, it's a fun conversation to have, and I understand why we're having it. The answer to that, of course, being because he spent so long in the pinstripes, where I must remind everybody, he hasn't won a darn thing in his career. But I mean, on top of that, the numbers just simply aren't there. On the black ink test, he scores a 21. The average Hall of Famer scores a 27. On the gray ink test, he scores a 74. The average Hall of Famer scores a 144. On the Hall of Fame monitor, he's graded out as an 82. The average Hall of Famer is a 100, right? He's got a 46.9 career WAR. The average Hall of Famer has a 69.7 career WAR. His 7-year peak of WAR is 35.4. The average Hall of Famers is 42.2. Giancarlo Stanton would be the bottom of the barrel numbers-wise in terms of Hall of Famers, and I just don't think we're at a spot in terms of where the voters are and how wide open the classes are year in and year out, where a guy with subpar Hall of Fame numbers is going to make it.
I wonder how many 500 home run MVP winners
There's none.
are in the Hall of Fame.
There's none.
Not connected.
There's none. That's
more
it.
than you'd think.
There's no 500 home run guys though that are not in the Hall. There's none other than the steroid guys.
There you go.
That's it. He's not a steroid guy.
And
Big asterisk there, because I think that encompasses 6 or 7.
But he's not a steroid guy.
It was pretty clear why those 6 or 7 are not there, and there's only one reason why they're not there. There are certain numbers in Major League Baseball that just stand out and are the entrance, the door, and there's enough voters now. The voters now are different. I will give you that. They're going to look at WAR, they're going to look at complete, and they're going to look at everything you just did across the board. But there's also an understanding of how amazing he was. He was the best for a period. And he could have been the greatest, had some injuries that stopped him and changed his game. And he still was on the top of the board once he had to change his game. He just had to change it. Yeah. And he was still able to do it. And I don't think 500 home runs means the same as it used to. It wasn't this the auto get in, obviously. But I don't see a way when you give him 10 ballots or whatever, I don't see a way that he doesn't just keep going up that chain. Now, at the same time, Andrew Jones is not a Hall of Famer. I can't comprehend, because there's not a player in baseball that would have said, I don't want that man in center field for my team, and that's all that matters.
Let me finish this on the Yankee thought then, because we only got a minute left in the segment. Sam and I are both in agreement. They are built to win in regular season games. It does not feel like this team is built to win in the playoffs. And I know they made changes at the trade deadline to try and rectify that. The Caballeros of the world, now they've benched Volpe, adding to the bullpen, trying to shorten the game. I still don't feel like this team is built to win in the postseason, David. Am I wrong?
It's because of the mistakes. It's because you still sit there and see a ball.
They're dependent on the home run, though, David. They're dependent on the home run.
Yes.
And in the
playoffs,
a lot of
teams
that
have
doesn't
been able
win.
to handle that, and it will come to be a problem when you get to the playoffs, because that's get them on, get them over, get them in, tend to win a lot of ball games along with good pitching.
Yes.
But the one that frustrates me, and this is the one I think why everybody gets so mad, is you see a routine ground ball to somebody and it goes in the stands. And the stupid mistakes. They're constantly trying so hard to make an out that they're just throwing the ball around. And that's the one that frustrates everybody. And that's why we talk about the Yankees the way we've been talking about them, is because these are just such simple minor league. You don't even see that in a good college baseball. You don't see these mistakes. No. But you're seeing it at the big league level, and you're constantly seeing it from players that are on the field every single day without a wake-up call. And that's what's so frustrating. Living on the home run, dying on the home run happens. But that's the problem.
And they're going to win enough games in the playoffs that Aaron Boone will keep his job, and I may have to renounce my Yankee fandom. We've got more to do. One more with David Aardsma next. In 10 minutes, we're joined by Tino, SiriusXM NASCAR Radio betting insider. See him on Tubi on the weekends, hangs out with us. We'll preview Darlington and the start of the NASCAR postseason. But first, one more segment with David Aardsma, former big league reliever and closer. We were just regaling him with tales of his triumphs and failures as a reliever during the break. Leave it to Sam Yarnell. Leave it to Sam Yarnell. Leave it to Sam Yarnell.
1-for-1 with a home run.
Yeah.
Do you even remember? That bothers me. I don't remember it. Must have blacked out.
But the one that still bothers you the most is
Alex Rios.
And for those at home that don't remember, there it is. Alex Rios, walk-off home run. Kenny Albert and Tim McCarver on the call.
We just
Fox.
keep that as stock footage.
It is stock footage. It is. I've got other. You know what the funny thing is? I actually went out of my way to get other good footage of David, and we just haven't shown it because the only thing I like to show is that. Like, I have his first save, all that stuff, it's Alex Rios on a loop.
Jason, it's time for my stupid question of the day for David Aardsma because I just thought of it and I'm going to forget it if I don't ask it now. David, what is your favorite memory of an unmemorable time? What is your favorite memory of being taken out of a baseball game? Not a game ending, right? Not a game ending.
Oh, being taken out. Oh, this I want to hear.
That's a good one. I'm trying to remember. Now you threw a curveball at me. I tend to just
take a baseball and slammed it into the coach's hand.
The closet and to close that door hard.
There had
right
to be someone
it.
though that came out, took the ball, said something absolutely hilarious, and you were doing everything in your power not to laugh walking off the field. I know it happened.
I will say this, the one that actually changed me in my life was my sophomore year in high school.
What?
Oh, this changed me though. I was actually pitching really, really well, but we played a team. We drove from Denver all the way up to Idaho, and it was error, blooper, error, blooper, start the game. And I haven't gotten out. There's 3 runs in, and it was just the weird, just one of those outings. And he comes out, and this coach never wanted me to play for him ever, but was forced to take me on the team. And he just goes, "You just don't have what it takes. You'll never be able to pitch at this level." He goes, "You're good." He goes, "Just go sit down," and took the ball from me. Wow. And that kind of stuck in the back of your brain, right? That kind of got you. Look, you want to create motivation. Tell somebody who is driven, those type of things. And the best feeling ever was in the big leagues, and the dude calls and asks for tickets.
Did you give them to him?
I'm absolutely. I would have loved to. Absolutely. And I guarantee you, it never even remembered it. I bet he probably thought he gave a great speech and all this stuff. And you got me here. Thank you. You got me here.
Scooble or Crochet? Who's your Cy Young Award winner right now, David?
It's Tariq Skubal. And I've always said this about MVPs and Cy Young winners until that guy gives up the trophy, it's his. And he's gone out, best team in baseball for almost the entire season, been the leader of that staff, the ace across the league. You don't get to just go out and pitch well when you're facing a guy like Skubal. Tariq Skubal has led this team for 2 years, led him in the playoffs. He didn't even get an award for how good he was, what he was doing in the playoffs. It's been nonstop. And until that guy gives up the award, nothing against what is going on in Boston, nothing at all against that. But you have to rip it out of his hands and just be a Paul Skeens type of a game, type of a season to rip it out. To me, it's Tariq Skubal.
All right.
He just hasn't done anything that's not Cy Young at all. Absolutely nothing.
Except that grand slam he gave up to Shea Langoliers the other night, and I don't care what the stat line said. He gave up 6 runs in that game. Oh, it's 1 earned. God. Sam and I had a disagreement on this.
Outings, those are things that happen, and it sucks.
Yeah. Sam and I were arguing about this, though, because I'm it doesn't count. But it does. He gave up a grand slam to Shea Langoliers in that game.
He should have been out of the inning. There was a ground out.
Pick up your players. Pick up your teammates.
He's frustrated. He's feeling like it's 6 runs. He let his team down.
Yeah.
He is owning it at the end, but the stat didn't show it.
No, it's such BS. Cal Raleigh or Aaron Judge right now? Your MVP pick is?
Gotta be Cal Raleigh.
I
Gotta be
agree.
Cal Raleigh.
Wow,
Gotta be Cal
we're all
Raleigh.
in agreement.
I've turned the corner on this. Aaron Judge has still having an amazing Aaron Judge year. But like I said, until you can grab it and tear it out of his hands, and right now Cal Raleigh is running with this thing. He
80 points lower in the
leader.
batting average, though.
The average is lower, but again, he's like number 2 in almost everything across the board, and being the catcher and what the Mariners are doing, setting records as a catcher and home runs. He's doing all those. He's checking every one of those boxes in historic fashion. Aaron Judge is having a great year. Cal Raleigh's having a historic year, and that's a differentiator for me. Again, he's pulled it out of his hands with history, and we're doing that from behind the plate. Like it means different.
The number is moved now, though. By the way, Aaron Judge minus 150, Raleigh is plus 120. Sam, just in case you're
gotten closer.
Last 40 seconds.
A whole bunch of money, my $20 on Cal Raleigh last week.
Big finish, Sam. You got anything? No.
David,
40
I'm
seconds.
just curious. Are the Brewers the best pitching staff headed into the playoffs? Obviously, with the Wheeler injury, is it the Phillies, Brewers, or Dodgers to you? In the National League, sorry.
Potential, it's always the Dodgers. Potential. Health and actually just getting it done, it's got to be the Brewers. When you lose an ace, like that's the thing that he made everyone in that rotation better. And nothing against Sanchez or anybody, Suarez, they will be just fine. But when you lose an ace, all that pressure now goes onto you. It's a different ballgame. An ace is an ace and an ace for a reason.
David Aardsma, former big league reliever and closer, our guy. Always appreciate it, my friend.
Thank you.
We're coming back. Welcome back to this Thursday edition of Sports Wrap. Now, normally we talk NASCAR on Fridays, but don't be alarmed. It's not Friday. We're talking about it on Thursday because we're off on Friday and Monday for the holiday. It's literally the last time we're going to be able to take off before the insanity of football season, and then we're basically with you straight through with brand new shows every day through April, essentially. So we're taking off Friday and Monday. Tomorrow we'll have our NFL special. I'll tell you a little bit more about that later on. Monday, some more NFL stuff as well. And if there's any huge, giant breaking news, we could always jump on, but as of now, that is the plan. Let's talk NASCAR, because we normally do it on Fridays, but since we won't be here tomorrow, we said, let's get Tino Pattigno today. And here he is in all his gold splendor to hang out with us on the show. And Tino, the NASCAR playoffs begin in earnest this weekend with the Cookout Southern 500. They're headed to Darlington for this race. Talk about I just want to get your thoughts before we get into this race in particular, this 16 driver field and sort of the way it's all played out throughout the entire season. What's the biggest surprise to you when you look at this postseason?
To me, it's the drivers that all equally have a chance to win a championship. I feel like most years...
Oh, come on. Shane Van Gisbergen's not winning any races other than road courses. Come on.
Hey, that's true. But we look at guys like Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell. I have confidence, and Chase Elliott as well. All those drivers are capable of winning a championship, not just with what they've done in their careers or on the track, but this season, when a guy that's gone out and dominated has been great to see 3 to 4 victories, but they haven't been that far out in front unless you're SVG on a road course. So, and that being said, I do agree with you. I don't think he has a chance to actually go out and win a championship. To further himself in the round of 8 after winning the Roval in the round of 12, maybe. I can see that for sure if he gets past this first round of 16. But Chase Briscoe's another guy. Then you look at drivers that are underdogs in this, which are Bubba Wallace, even Tyler Reddick, and he's made it to the championship before. To me, this is a very strong field. There's some drivers, Austin Dillon, maybe a Josh Berry or a Ross Chastain, that I don't see making it that far into the playoffs, but they definitely can. There's tracks that benefit them, and I think that's what's best about this playoffs thus far.
When you look at the odds for the playoffs, and Denny Hamlin stands out obviously at 4-1 over on FanDuel, and then Kyle Larson. Does the Larson number surprise you considering what we've seen of him, especially over the second half of the season?
No, because he's Kyle Larson. I don't think that number has gotten any greater or increased in value that much throughout his career because of how heavily the favorite he's been throughout each and every race.
Then is it a value at plus 420?
I would wait on betting on anyone in terms of a NASCAR champion until the end of each round. Now, for instance, a guy like Kyle Larson, he could have a bad first round, need to win to move forward, and will because he dominated at Bristol. Now, I don't see him in a must-win scenario until the later rounds, round of 8, to get into the championship 4. But for instance, when people ask me when should I bet on NASCAR championship futures, that's what I say, because Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano are the prime examples. We got Joey as the championship winner last year at 12-1 before he went on to win Vegas. Ryan Blaney talked about him being 22-1, wins at Martinsville to get into the championship 4. Then you're holding on to those high value ticket prices going into the championship with, increased odds for drivers that will be there to have their chance to win it out of 4. So that's my mindset there and it's paid off in the past.
All right. Denny Hamlin won this race the last time they had it in Darlington. So obviously he is somebody to look at when we talk about the Cookout Southern 500. Kyle Larson is the favorite at plus 550. Then Ryan Blaney at 6-1. Hamlin also at 6-1, along with William Byron. Tyler Reddick at 7-1, and then Christopher Bell at 10-1. When you look at those numbers preliminarily, obviously before qualifying and all of that, give me a sense of where your head is at.
So although Denny Hamlin won this race in the spring, William Byron was the one who dominated. Won stage 1, won stage 2, led 243 laps, and wasn't able to close the deal. That's my primary focus. Is he able to do the similar thing here and finish the job? My first thought is yes, but this is a very different Darlington race, not only at the nighttime, but 500 miles, the Southern 500. It's a big deal because not only is it a crown jewel for the sport, but a lot of strategy comes into play. And with the tire and with it being a night race and all those things, different time of the year, more tire fall off is potential to happen. That's what we've seen at years past in this specific race. So that leads me to believe a driver like Ryan Blaney, who had the best long run speed and won last weekend at Daytona. It was my smart play. Eric Jones was also up there for my gut play. My point is, I think Blaney's going to have a shot. Byron's going to have a shot, but keep in mind, Chase Briscoe won this race last year. He's now in a better car. I can see him going out as a potential underdog, 13-1. I've seen him at some sports books. I love that number as of now because 85% of the time the winner starts inside the top 10. Chase Briscoe has 6 poles this year. So perfect storm for him to start off this playoffs and some of those other drivers.
Real quick, Bubba, what do we think about him here in these playoffs?
If he can be consistent, Bubba, get stage points, get top 10s to even 15.
It's what he's done all year. It's what he's done all year.
Exactly. So if he can have that mindset the first round and stay out of trouble, he'll move on to the next round, and then he's going to have to start to win or get some extra help there.
All right, so give me what you like, the bottom line as it relates to this race on Sunday.
Chris Buescher is a non-playoff driver. I like to potentially win. Tyler Reddick hasn't won all year. If he's going to, I think it's going to be here at Darlington. I mentioned Chase Briscoe, Ryan Blaney, and if I'm choosing between Denny Hamlin or Kyle Larson, I'm going Larson in this one.
Wow. All right, Tino Pattigno. The playoffs are here, Tino.
Playoffs?
I know. We went through the whole season, and we got our Bubba in the playoffs. We're rooting for him. All right, Tino Pattigno, catch him on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio and Tubi over the weekend. We'll see you next week, my friend.
Thank you.
We're coming back. All right, just about time to put the wraps on this baby, but before we do, a couple of reminders. Actually, a lot of reminders, so I got to run through these fast. Sports Wrap with Jason Page, the podcast. If you have not subscribed, make sure to do so. All your favorite podcasting platforms. You can get this show in its audio form Monday through Friday, 45 minutes commercial free. If you are unable to watch us on TV for any particular reason, we have the Sports Wrap with Jason Page YouTube channel. That is also available with Sports Wrap shorts there every day, Monday through Friday. Go and check that out as well. Next week on the show, Stan Verrett, recent ESPN alum, drops by. Talk about a whole bunch of things with him, which Sam is very giddy about. He can't wait. I can't wait either. It's going to be cool to have Stan hang out with us on the show. Him and Neil Everett have a new show coming out on Twitch that they'll be doing a couple of days a week. Stan is also going to be the game day host in the stadium for the New Orleans Saints this year. So that is very cool as well. A lot of stories to talk about with him next week on the show. Jabba Chamberlain scheduled to be on the show next week as well. Again, Friday and Monday, special editions of Sports Wrap with Jason Page, as we will be getting ourselves geared up for the start of the NFL season. You won't want to miss that either. All right, without any further delay, ladies and gentlemen, time for some odds and ends. Odds and ends, Sam Yarnell, Taylor Townsend, and Yelena Ostapenko. Wow. That does not look friendly. The two of them jawing at each other after Townsend beat Ostapenko to advance to the third round at the U.S. Open in singles. Townsend is a very talented doubles player. I think she's on the best doubles team in the world right now on the women's side, if I'm not mistaken, or mixed doubles. I can't remember. But she beats Ostapenko, the 2017 French Open winner. Ostapenko wasn't happy with Townsend, apparently because of something that happened at the net when Townsend hit a ball and it almost hit Ostapenko. Ostapenko said, "You're supposed to apologize." Townsend said, "No, I'm not going to." And this was the result of that.
Yeah. So I think in the year 2025, many people who love tennis, I say this as one of my best friends is a massive diehard tennis fan. I think most tennis fans, most people who actively play tennis, most people who played tennis at any high level, even NCAA tennis, which is incredibly high level in this era, would understand that of all the unwritten rules in tennis, of which there are many, when the ball hits the net and goes over and you win the point, having to apologize rule may be the stupidest of them all.
I agree.
I don't need to apologize for winning. Sorry, I'm better than you and that you couldn't get there. So that's just the general problem that I have with the unwritten rule there.
Yeah.
Here's the problem I have with Ostapenko's reaction. First of all, you cannot react like that in a match in which you lose in straight sets, quite frankly, and get 6-1 to go out. You can't do that. What you need to do, you shake the opponent's hand with whatever dead fish handshake you want. I don't care about that. Do whatever you need. And then put your head straight down, look at your tennis shoes, walk back to your bag, fill it up, keep that head down, and walk right off the court. That's what you do after you get straight setted out of the U.S. Open in the second round as the 25th ranked women's tennis player in the world. That is exactly what you do, Ostapenko. Credit to Taylor Townsend, who, I mean, tennis fans are well aware of the controversy in which she has been involved throughout her tennis career, for standing up for herself, man. Like, there is no reason that she needed to take any of that from a player who's not even ranked inside the top 20 in the world. What a ridiculous scene in Flushing, Queens yesterday, Jason.
Yeah, and Ostapenko calling her uneducated and classless is being met with some skepticism or cynicism, to say the least, with some people saying it was even a racist comment. We'll leave that one alone for now. Keegan Bradley, Captain Keegan, is not going to play on his own Ryder Cup team. He has named his captain's picks, though. They are Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Ben Griffin, Cameron Young, Sam Burns, and Patrick Cantlay, which means we are going to be in for some long rounds, and I apologize for anybody who has to play with Patrick Cantlay. Wonder if he'll wear the USA hat this time around, Sam. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and listen, while the narrative around Keegan Bradley, because of, and let's not get this confused here, 3 good tournament finishes in a row. That's what he had, right? And all of a sudden, everybody was, Captain
won the
Keegan,
Travelers.
Captain Keegan's got to play. He's got to be the first one since Arnie to do it. No, he doesn't, because that should be reserved for the greats of all time, like Arnold Palmer was, like Keegan Bradley, respectfully, isn't.
He did win the Travelers. In addition to the 3 other tournaments, he did win the Travelers this year. Let's not forget that. Before we go, Dawn Staley, Sam Yarnell, says that if she had been offered the Knicks job, she would have taken it said she might have shot herself in the foot by suggesting that hiring her might make it really difficult for the Knicks in terms of some of the questions they would have to answer. Did Dawn Staley make a mistake being too honest?
If I were elected to be president of the United States, I would accept the job offer as well. Like, this should not be breaking news to anybody. If they let me be the head coach of the Buffalo Bills tomorrow, sorry, Jason, see ya, I'm out of here. Yeah. Yes, of course, anybody would have said yes to this. Anybody in their right mind I would have said yes to be the head coach of the New York Knicks.
Of course you would.
I hate basketball.
Yeah. I would have loved for them to hire her. Instead, we get Mike Brown. Thanks to David Aardsma and Tino Pattigno. Sam, have a great long weekend. We'll see you all back here next week.